vegetable intake.
Study finds global psoriasis, inflammatory skin
Hello
condition, cases
everyone.
rising from 1990
In
to
this video,
2021, with
I'm
the
going
highest rates in
to
North
talk
America
about
and Western Europe and continued growth
the
projected through
two-way
2050.
The
forest
UK government unveils
propagation
a
model.
£170
It is a
million
model that
HIV or human
takes into
immunodeficiency
the
virus
account
action
of
plan, aiming to end new transmissions in England by 2030 and
reflection,
reconnect around
ground reflection.
5,000 people who dropped out of
Okay, let's take a
HIV
look.
care.
A magnitude 3.3 earthquake hit northwest England, UK, late Wednesday night, shaking homes from
So
Lancashire
to
to the
begin
Peak
with,
District. Fortunately, there were
let's
no
take a look
reported
why
injuries or
we need
damage.
this model
Record
and
flooding
why
hit
not.
Lian Hung
And
community in Nam Dang province,
traditionally,
or Vietnam,
we can
after
use
the Long Son
forest
Reservoir released an
model,
unprecedented amount of water due to
the
intense rainfall.
most
Over
general form
1,000
of
homes were
forest
submerged and
model.
boats were damaged.
But the model
Rescue
suffers from a
operations
lot
and
of
mass
problems.
evacuations are
One of
ongoing
the
amid heavy rain.
problems
Air
is
pollution is a major cause of respiratory illnesses
the
in
ground
India.
reflection,
In its capital, New
and
Delhi,
that's why
it has been linked
we
to
need
over
this model.
200,000 cases of respiratory
So
illness in 3 years,
why we
including
need
more than
two-way
30,000 hospitalizations.
models?
During winter, the city
In
experiences
the real
PM
life,
2.5
electromagnetic
levels that are
waves
dangerously high,
interacts
highly
with the
cancer-causing
environment,
particles associated with millions
ground,
of deaths
trees,
nationwide.
buildings, mountains, whatever.
Severe
Free
flooding
space
in Vinh
propagation
province,
is
Alac
almost
or Vietnam, earlier
impossible.
this week, with water
So
up
that's
to
why
2.5 meters deep, inundated
we need
over
to take care. We need to
3,300
take
homes,
into
destroyed
account
farmland, sank boats, caused
the other
landslides and road
sources of
damage. One person and more than
interference,
4,000 animals
including
perished.
ground
The damage is
reflection.
estimated at $3.3 million US.
Finger-wide cracks have
Okay,
appeared on the
so
Dao Nang section of
the
National
two-way
Highway 1 in
models
Phu Truc
have
Commune,
shown
Olac or
both
Vietnam, raising
light
concerns
of
about potential
size
landslides. Residents
signals
have also reported the
and
mass surfacing and death of
refraction
earthworms,
signals.
an unprecedented
They have shown
phenomenon
both
possibly linked to
signals
unusual
of
weather or geological
presence
changes.
in the
People disturbed earthworms by
in
wetting
the
the
model,
soil
and
sooner than
this is the
supposed
way
time.
how we model
Reported to
the
Supreme
path
Master
loss.
Qinghai, vegan, by the
The
king of
models
soil.
has been proven very,
Dutch
very
manufacturer
accurate.
New Holland launches hybrid
It
farm
has
machinery
already been
using
there
a
for
70 kilowatt
more
hour
than
battery and methane engine,
more
cutting
than a
energy
few
use by
decades.
70% with zero
So
emissions.
why not?
3 men are
The
caught
model
slaughtering a
has
stolen
some
donkey person in Habana Nueva, Cuba, sparking calls for stronger
problem
animal
as well
protection laws and
because
harsher
of the
penalties amid
approximation.
widespread animal
The
theft
first
across Cuba.
approximation
Police
that
in New Delhi, India investigate a man who
we
allegedly
have
killed a
problem with
stray dog
is
person after people for the ethical
the
treatment of
first
animals, or
approximation
PETA India,
that the
filed
model
a
is
complaint
based
under
on
the
is the
Prevention of
distance.
Cruelty to Animals Act.
Research
The
shows two
model
major
assumes
AI
the
or artificial
distance
intelligence
between
models
the
reason
source
differently in English
and the
versus Mandarin
observation
Chinese,
points
showing
to
varied
be
problem-solving
very large.
approaches depending on the language used.
Scientists
So
discover a
let's take a
massive
look in
protein
the
causing
graphical
crime, a huge
illustration
strand
of
of
this model.
galaxies twisting around,
Suppose
so caught
TX
in a
represents
slow-motion
the
cosmic tornado. It
antenna
spans around 650
from
million light-years, making it
at the
possibly the longest
transmitting
living
end.
cosmic structure ever seen.
Supreme
RX
Master
represents
Qinghai,
the
vegan,
antenna
replied, "Not to
at
worry.
the
The
receiving
cosmic
ends.
system does what it does.
Both
Renewing,
antennas
repairing,
are
reorganizing,
suspended in
restructuring,
mid-air.
recreating."
So this is just an assumption,
3.3
right?
billion year old
In the
crystals
real life,
reveal
you
a
may have
shockingly
a
active early Earth. Fresh
metal
evidence
pole
suggests our
to
planet wasn't
support
locked
the
under a
antenna.
rigid, stagnant crust, but was already experiencing
And
intense movement of tectonic plates
the
and early
most
cosmic
direct
formation.
pathway
Malaysian
for the
vegan brand
electromagnetic
Veggie4,
fluid
led by founder
for
Jessica Young,
the most direct
vegetarian,
pathway
makes
for the
ready-to-eat
electromagnetic
Malaysian
wave
classics using mushrooms
to
and
be
kecap, and
transmitted
expands
from
into
the
Singapore.
transmitter to
Survey
the
shows
receiver
most
is
Americans spending around
E
$100
of
on their main
LOS,
holiday meal, with nearly 60%
line
of
of
adults
sight,
and over 75% aged 18 to 34
electromagnetic wave
considering plant-based
in
options,
line
and
of
given
sight
good reason.
directions.
U.S. non-profit Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine
The
says
other
well-planned plant-based menus can cut holiday grocery costs by around half.
electromagnetic wave
U.S.
that
Council
we
of
cannot
Fashion Designers
ignore
of America
is the one
announces New
from
York
here to
Fashion
here
Week, or
and then
NYFW,
bounce
will
back.
fully ban animal
And
person
this
fur
is
from
so-called
all
ground
collections
pathway.
on the official
The ground
NYFW
pathway
schedule
involves
starting
reflections.
September 2026, following London, Copenhagen, Stockholm, and
So
Melbourne
this
Fashion
is
Weeks. The
This
council will
green
also
pathway
immediately
represents the
discontinue
ground
the
pathway.
promotion of fur across all official platforms, including its website
So
and
we
social
use
media.
E of
Singapore
G
Red
to
Cross
represent
allocates
the electric
$250,000 to five
field
national
through
societies
this
in
pathway.
Malay or Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, responding to monsoon floods and over 400 deaths.
By the way, the electric field means the transverse electric field.
Gilma runs
It doesn't mean
farm
the
animal
electric
rescue in
field
West
in the
Jordan,
direction of
Utah,
propagation.
US, to save neglected
Okay,
or abused
now
farm
let's take a
animal
look
people
here.
and help heal people with trauma.
This triangle is difficult to
Rescuers of
resolve,
Lake Waban,
but
Massachusetts,
however,
US saved
we know
caregiver
that
and dog person
from the
Tommy after
geometry,
lake icebreak, pulling them from freezing water as local
the
residents hail emergency crews.
incident wave here can be projected
Two rabbit
downwards,
people named Donna and Figaro
and we can
experienced grass and
think of
sunlight
this
for the first
as an
time after being
image
rescued from
wave.
a laboratory by U.S.
So in this case,
organization Save the Buns and transferred to Woodstock Farm Sanctuary,
we
U.S.
just copy
Iranian
this line,
President Masoud Pezeshkian
just mirror
offered
it
full
downwards,
humanitarian aid to
and
Indonesia
the angle
after
the
floods
same
and
is
landslides killed
mirroring
and injured many
downward.
people, and
And as a
expressed
result,
condolences
if
to the
this angle
Indonesian
is
President
equal to this
Prabowo
angle,
Subianto.
then essentially
Spirit of
this is
peace,
going to be
gasped
a
in my
straight
lungs.
line.
What people witnessed was
Straight
an
line.
illumination around my body and a
So
fiery
we are
flame
going
on the
to
left side of
use
my
this
head.
track
And for one moment, I was looking at
to
myself inside my body.
simplify the geometry.
American actor Jim Caviezel reveals how filming
And
The Passion of the Christ nearly cost him
the
his
height
life,
here,
led to a supernatural event, and left
the height
witnesses
of the
in
antenna
awe as a light from heaven struck him during
at the
his portrayal
transmitting
of
end
Lord
is
Jesus,
h of
vegetarian, on
t.
the cross. Throughout the filming, Jim
The height of
maintained
the
a
antenna
state of prayer
at
and
the
fasting,
receiving end
immersing himself
is
deeply in his role. During the final scenes,
h
hanging
of
on the
r.
cross in harsh conditions, he
So this
became
is the
dangerously ill. His body turned
information
blue from
we
the
can
cold
get
and exposure, and
from
his
this
shoulder
model.
was repeatedly
So we are
dislocated
going
due to the
to take
violent winds
advantage
and
of
the
what we
cross's
have,
position near
and
a
then
cliffside. As filming
we
reached
are
its
going
climax,
to
Jim's heart
analyze.
began to fail, and a medic noted he
So
could die
by
at any moment.
pointing theorem,
Despite this,
the
Jim made
magnitude of
peace
the
with the
power
idea of
density
dying,
as
believing
a
that in
result of
heaven,
the
many
electric
souls would be
field
saved.
in the line of sight
Between me and this is
pathway
between me and God. Because I never
E
thought I
of
was good enough.
LOS
Wow.
is like this.
And
So this is
at
just
that
the
moment, it was,
magnitude of the
I'm ready
power
to go
density.
home. So you can take
And
me here, that's no problem. But I knew if I
likewise,
died making this movie,
the magnitude of the power density
so many
through
people
the
be saved.
ground pathway
During a climactic
can be
moment,
modeled
as
as
he
this.
walked up a mountainside in front of the full cast and crew, Jim felt
So,
an overwhelming and evil presence.
About halfway up, I felt this
in
presence,
vector forms,
that evil presence. And
the
it was, you're a dead man.
combined electric
And I
field
remember thinking, this
that
is
you
the
can
best
observe
news. This is
in
where I
the
was, this is the best
receiving
news I've
end
ever had, because I know
is
if
the
I
vector
die, I'm
sum
going to
of
heaven.
these two vectors,
Suddenly, as thunder
E of
crashed and lightning flashed, the
LOS
atmosphere became silent
and
around him.
uh,
Then a bolt of
E of
lightning
G.
struck him.
But the
What
E
people
of G
witnessed was an
involves
illumination around my
refraction
body
from
and
the
a fire
ground.
on the right
That's
left
why
side of
you
my
need
head.
to multiply
And for
the
one moment, I was looking at myself inside my
refraction
body, and
coefficients.
this light came right down from heaven and lit me up. I
By
was struck by
Planck's
light
theorems, the
when it was
magnitude
hit.
of the power density
Everybody
at the
fell on their
receiving
face.
end
The
is
ground shook.
like this.
And
Yeah, just similar to what we
from
have
that
done
point, that
before.
was the last shot
Yeah,
of the movie.
the
Physically
electric
battered,
field
struggling to
square
breathe, in great pain, and
divided
developing
by
pneumonia, Jim felt the
the
suffering of Lord
intrinsic
Jesus,
impedance.
vegetarian.
Physically, I
So
couldn't have
if we
struggled.
substitute
But
E,
our Lord
the
was letting
expression
me feel
of
a little bit of what he was feeling. And he was
E of
sustaining me
TOT,
to a point of how far
and
do
you
you want
can
to go
do
with
this
this?
here,
How much of do you want the world to see
and
of
you
me?
can do this
And I
here.
said, every
Now
bit.
let's take a look here.
Well, then you're in for it.
Over a
Finally,
very
Jim
long
spoke of
distance,
forgiveness and God's grace, explaining that no
we
matter
can
what
have
one
shown
has done, God's mercy exceeds any
the
human
magnitude
understanding
of the
or love.
electric field
He
for
reminded the
both
audience that God values
E
every soul,
of
regardless of earthly fame, and that
LOS
true reward
and
lies
E of
beyond this
G
world.
are similar. I mean, the electric field in the line of sight directions and the electric field in through the ground pathway. They are basically the same. Yeah, you can approximate it. The longer the distance, the more possibility they are the same. So we can literally take this 2 vector out.
Reflection
We can take
quotes
this
of
out,
the day.
yeah. We
Though
can do
someone
this.
may skillfully deceive the world,
So
the Buddha will surely know, for they are never far away. Venerated Enlightened
now we
Master
can
His
continue.
Holiness
We can
Dalai
use
Lama,
this form.
Su Wei
Yeah,
Ban
remember,
Fai, vegetarian.
For more relevant news
we
from
are
around the
having
world,
a
please
absolute
visit
value of this.
suprememastertv.com
Yeah, there's a
/news.
square of the absolute value of the sum of 2
Only
unit
ethical
vector.
gold and ethical
And we have
diamonds were used in the making of this jewelry for environmental
a
protection.
refraction coefficient here. So let's take a look. According to the Forest formula, the power density at the receiving end can be calculated using this one. Yeah. Now, basically, I can just go straight to the solution at this point. And remember, the vector in vector form, it will be the square root, the square of the vector. Yeah, let's take a look. So the power as a result of the electric field in the line of sight direction is going to be like this. Yeah, this is just the similar one. Yeah. Yeah, similarly, the electric field, the power density as a result of the ground pathway is like this. So the power at the receiving end, yeah, given that the ground reflection can be calculated using this formula. When the distance d is very large, then the angle theta is going to be very, very small. So as a result, you get the ground reflection to be almost -1. So let's take a look. The resultant power density is the vector sum of these two.
The most powerful
So we
daily
can do
prayer
this.
for any time
And remember
and
what we
before
have done
meditation,
before.
which is the
When we
order
use
from
the
God,
electric
Supreme
field
Master Ching Hai
to
shares with
calculate
us
the
by his blessed
power
grace.
density at the receiving end, in
We humbly
vector
worship,
form, we have two vectors
praise,
summed together.
thank, obey, and love God Almighty, the
So
Most
because of
High,
the
the
approximation
greatest, for world vegan,
we have made,
world peace, and our
the power
soul
density, the
liberation.
magnitude or the power density for
We
both
thank,
pathways should be
love,
more or less the
praise
same.
the only Son of God, who is the ultimate master
Only the
for our
phase
salvation.
will be different. So
We
as a
follow
result,
the teaching of all the saints
in terms
and
of magnitude,
sages.
we can calculate the phase
Love
like
and
this,
praise them,
just like what we
who
have
are
done in the
the
previous page.
representatives of God for our spiritual elevation.
So, one of the approximation we can get is here. It can be, yeah, if we derive the
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit
this trunk of
suprememastertv.com/schedule
expression
and
by this one,
suprememastertv.com/veg.
e to the power -3 and then 2 pi d1 divided by lambda. Then you will get this one. So we end up with two expressions within the absolute
Be sure to follow us
bracket.
on our socials: YouTube, Facebook,
And
Twitter,
remember,
Instagram, LinkedIn, Nico,
e
Pinterest,
of
Reddit,
-3
Telegram, Threads,
2 pi
TikTok,
d1
Truth
divided by
Social,
lambda is a
Tumblr,
unit
LinkedIn,
vector
and X,
in the
as well
direction of
as Twitter
d1.
in multiple languages by searching
Unit
Supreme TV.
vector means the magnitude is 1. So essentially,
Worship,
uh,
thank, love, praise, always
You can just take this out, and we can take one more out. Yeah, we have 2 pi d1 minus d2, and then divided by lambda, and then we can halve it like this here, and then we just take this out.
And a satisfying vegan bite.
So essentially, now you end up with 2 unit vector.
Gooey, no-bake vegan chocolate.
One of the unit vector has the d1 here, and the other unit vector is the difference, the distance difference. They both have the magnitude of 1. So now we can just safely confirm that the power at the receiving end can be calculated in this manner. It's an approximation based on the assumption that both pathways share the same magnitude. But hang on a minute. This bracket expressions looks very familiar. It is actually sine of pi times d1 minus d2 divided by lambda. So we can safely confirm that the power at the receiving end can be approximated in this manner. Now we can do one more approximation. When over a very large distance, d1 is almost equal to d2. The ground pathway and the lines of sight pathway are almost the same. So as a result, sine of some value, very small value, is actually equal to the value itself, d1 minus d2, and then times pi divided by lambda.
I sincerely wish
so 100 more minutes, yeah, so we get this.
A very, very joyful, lucky Christmas.
So essentially you can just take out the sign, and then now we can just do more simplification here, so we get this. So this is the final form of the Poynting vector that has taken the ground reflection into consideration. The final formula is not that. The problem here is we don't know the distance d1 and d2, and not to mention the difference between these two. But we can use the geometry from page 1. The first page to calculate it. So we take a look in this geometry. Yeah. Previously we have already seen this diagram. We have d1 here and d2 here. And this line here can be thought as an imaginary pathway underneath the ground. And if Peter can be mirrored into the region underneath the ground, then we can confirm this line here is a straight line. The height here is h of r, so if you move here all the way to here, you get a right angle triangle here. The height here is ht minus hr. And similarly, the height here is hr. So if we count the height from this point here all the way up here is ht plus hr. So you can use this right angle triangle to calculate the length of this pathway.
You can't even explain the way those two interact.
So d1 is equal to this one, d2 is equal to this one. So let's assume that over a large distance, ht is much quicker than xt plus extra.
Launched in
So
San
we can do
Francisco
this,
in the year 2000.
and
News
we
is
can,
an award-winning global media brand focusing on the
d2
vegan,
is
plant-based
just this
lifestyle.
distance, d1
Through
is
its
this
flagship
distance.
magazine, website,
Now,
and podcast,
if
News covers
we
a wide range
take
of
out
topics
d
related to
from both
veganism,
expressions,
including news, fashion, travel, and
both terms
celebrity interviews,
are the same
and
expression.
offers millions of worldwide viewers
We
a
get
wealth of vegan lifestyle tips
this
and
one.
recipes. Today we're featuring
Now
the
we
final
need
two
to
dishes on Veg News 24
exercise
most popular
approximation
recipes
here.
of 2024.
We can use Taylor
Starting with the
Theorem
cozy classic,
to approximate this
gluten-free
term
vegan lasagna, a comfort food that
and
is
this
hearty,
term.
nourishing, and surprisingly light on
So
the
we end up
palate.
with this one.
We'll begin by
And
preparing
if we
cashew
do
cream
some
in a blender
algebraic
jug. Add 1 cup of raw
calculation
cashews
here,
that have been
this
pre-soaked
d2
overnight,
minus d1 is
3/4
actually
of
equals
a
to
cup of water,
2 times the
and 1 teaspoon of salt.
height
You
of
can add
the
the other salty ingredients such as
transmitting
soy sauce
antenna
now and salt later.
and the
It does
height
not
of
make
the
much
receiving
difference.
antenna
Cover a
divided
jug
by
with
d.
its lid and blend at low speed until no
So
dough
as a
pieces are
result,
left.
our
Then switch to high speed
final
until
formula
smooth.
should be calculated this
Pour the
manner.
cashew cream into a
d1
bowl.
minus d2 is substituted with
Tear apart a block of firm tofu into small pieces and drop them into the cashew cream.
this approximate the expression. So this is the final form of
Mix
the
well so that the tofu
Fourier
pieces are
formula
completely
that
soaked
has
in the cashew
taken
cream.
the ground
Season with 1
refraction
1/2
into
tablespoons
account.
of gluten-free
Okay,
soy
thank you.
sauce
Bye
and
bye.
mix well.